Okay, this presentation is for most of the civil engineering labs in Springfield. Some are downstairs and some are upstairs, so I'm going to make two separate recordings. So this is the space that we use to teach the soil mechanics lab, the water resources lab, and the construction materials lab. So I thought I'd start here in the back. You can see we have some concrete mixers and we have several bins of aggregate. And in this area back here, we can make concrete. This is a pretty large room. Kind of pan around here to not too fast to kind of show you the space. Now we're in the middle of a construction effort as we're building out the labs for the mechanical engineering program. So these chairs and tables and a lot of the stuff you see are being staged. Unfortunately, the loading dock is right behind the garage door there. And so an awful lot of stuff has to come in through the civil engineering labs. And we allow the students to build their concrete canoe in here. So here's some shovels and wheelbarrows, and we're set up pretty well to mix and cast concrete in here. We've got some sinks to clean up. You can see we've got hearing protection there. We've got eye protection, and we do require the students to wear hearing and eye protection when it's appropriate. In this part here, this is our large aggregate shaker. It really goes in a closet back there, but we've had to move it out, as I say, to stage this construction. Several things are out of place. We've got the LA abrasion machine to break the aggregate down. We've got a divider here. This machine here is set up to crush 6-inch concrete cylinders. We've got our forklift, and some of this is just being pushed out of the way so that we can get through the construction effort. We are teaching the soil mechanics lab this fall as I'm making it. This space is used to teach the water resources lab and the construction materials lab in the spring semester. So we come back into this part of the room, and you can see the bowls and stuff set up on the work tables. The students are it's all set up for them to do some soils work next week. And some of it is just mixing in metal bowls like this. We've got a drying oven here. You can see, and I think they've got some specimens in there drying because it's on. And of course, we have lots of buckets. Got to have lots of buckets for the soils lab. This is still the early part of the lab. I can show you some of this here. There's another old canoe. These are the shakers that will be used for parts of that lab, and we've got the bowls that fit in there, and so you can shake and determine the size distribution in the soil. A little later on, this is the 3D, what do you call it, where you're compressing it in all directions. Anyway, this machine is set up to do that test. This little machine over here is set up to do shear testing of soils. I think it's a little bit of an unusual machine, but it works fine for us. And these machines are set up for unconstrained compression of the soils, which they'll get into at some point during the semester. In the spring, we'll teach the water resources class. This is our flume over here to study open channel flow. It works very nicely. It's only about 6 inches wide, but we've got the pieces that go in there so they can look at the different types of open channel flow. We do most of our concrete testing on this machine here. This is a better machine than the 6-inch cylinder crusher I showed you. We got this from Frank Bacon Machine Company. It's an old load frame, but they've outfitted it with computer and software, and so it's programmable, and we can have pretty good control with this particular load frame. And there's stuff that we use with the load frame there. We've got some scales you can see here set up with the soils. Behind that, you can see this piping system, which will be used in the spring when we teach the water resources lab. It has a lot of different valves for us to measure piping flow, and it's part of the civil engineering course. I don't think I pointed out, we have a couple of small scales over here too. So that's what we have in this area to support soil mechanics, water resources, and construction materials.